Hello, Cherie Hanson here. It is a wet, gray, rainy day, which is tremendous for us because that means that the forest fires around us will be quelled. I love it when the fires are quelled. Todd is showing me how I should be living right now. Just curl up and go to sleep all day long. I wanted to talk a little bit about the deepest disappointment of all. And the disappointment that is the hardest to take is when you disappoint yourself. The problem is the society sets us up with such high expectations. You're supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to be able to take on all the new technology that's coming out and confusing everybody, even the tech workers. You're supposed to be making masses of money. And of course, I always reference back to the movies, cartoons I saw in my youth, where there is a con man who has the wallet on the sidewalk and is pulling it away from you. So, when the target for perfection or good enough or you've made it is constantly moving, it makes it impossible for us. Because if I'm making this much money, yahoo, I'm rich. Except that my house went up in value 45% in the last 3 years. So that means my taxes. And every single person you ask to come in and do something in your house has to get more money because they are in this lemon squeezer pressure society. So we end up in what I call the free fall state. You know, it's like you're on a reality show and they throw you off a cliff and you're somehow supposed to gather a bouquet of roses in your arms before you hit the earth. Now, how we get there is that we're relying on the outside world to tell us that we've got the safety vest on, that we've got the Kevlar vest, that we have got protection. You've done enough, you're good enough, you have enough substantial existence, so you're fine. But that's not true. And we know it. There is no enough when systems are collapsing. How can it be enough? We ask this question. We have to go back to looking at who is it that judges that? Oh, it's me. I'm the one that judges how trustworthy I am. How do I judge that? How I keep my promises to myself. And we're so much caught up in what the outside world tells us that we're in a state where we're constantly promising ourselves impossible things. Oh, you're going to become massively richer. You're going to become more sought after. You're going to become sweeter. You're going to become someone who is never upset by other people. So we promise ourselves things that if we were watching a movie and we could see the protagonist standing there and having promises made to her or him, we would be scoffing. It's too much. It's too big. And not only that, You're trying to be a sniper and hit a target, but you're also looking at 25 things. So if my kitchen drawers are a mess and my knives aren't lined up and my financing isn't perfect and my body isn't completely muscled out, then I'm failing. And we're to a place now where our expectations for ourselves and for our lives are like circus crazy, just circus crazy. And what happens when we get in a state like that is we're pulled off of being authentic. What's more important for me is that other people think I'm perfect. And you can't be authentic and be perfect. Authentic people will tell you right away, I'm grumpy today. I don't like that food. I don't want to do that. And that's not nice. It's not nice to have a clear understanding of who you are and refuse to just do the commiserating dance, as one of my clients called it. The social commiserating dance. It's like a minuet. You put one toe out and top the floor, and you raise your hand with a fan, and then you swirl about, and then you put your other foot tapping the floor. Oh, look at how well I'm dancing the patterns of commiseration. Isn't that beautiful? So what does that leave me with? I'm thinking, as I'm sitting the last 3 days, pretty quiet, pretty self-contained, pretty focused on what I'm becoming, what I want to become, what I want to put, which fire I want to put my log on. What serves me? What makes me happier? What makes me feel safer and more cared for? And I'm looking at it. I'm not assuming it will be this thing or another. I'm looking at it objectively because I want to learn. And so we come back to the issue of being scattered. People have told me lately they have ADHD. No, the culture has ADHD. It's like, look at that, no, look at that, no, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. And you're just, pigeon-headed, just looking around. You don't even know what you're looking for. It's just all so much. And all this information is coming in from all over the world. It's flooding here. Children are dying there. There's a strike. That means that the stuff that comes on the train is going to cost me more or might not come. So we have a combination of interesting things. We have a combination of things that we know in our real life. This is my real life in this house, with this body, with my personal advisor, my spiritual teacher. And that is about all I can handle. If I know that there are things that are coming in like a tsunami wave, there's more ugly, more chaos, more destruction, more, just rabid, confusing, swirling events coming in. I'm going to shut down because I can't handle that. It's too big for me. It's way too big. So I want to talk about your anchoring habits. Now, these are very, very important in your life. For me, an anchoring habit is I get up in the morning and I take a 10 or 11 minute Wim Hof cold bath. Why? Because I'm 80 and I want to make sure that the inflammation leaves my body before I start my day. I sit and do Wim Hof breath. Why? Because what it has done for me is increased my lung capacity, and one of my nostrils, because my nose was broken, was not breathing well. Now it is. And also, when I'm doing the Wim Hof breath, I feel like I'm in my body right here. This is my nest. This is my safe place. Oh, I'm in my body. I inhabit my body. And then I can see that the decisions I make need to be made out of care for that body and not to satisfy the outside world. I also have a habit of sharing good news on social media. I call it sprinkling the sequins. You know, somebody may look at that and go, oh, there's good news about the status of women. Oh, there's good news about, new inventions that are coming out. And so I scatter those along the path of social media. Another habit I do that's self-care is I look at Todd and I say to myself, is he happy? He reads my energy. He's like a barometer for what's going on in me. If he is stressed and pacing and meowing, then I know I have allowed my energy to get into the low vibration fear state. So I have the ritual of wire brushing him or petting him and thanking him for being with me, for being my pet, for being in a place where I am receiving purring love at night when I'm sleeping. The other ritual that I am working on is making sure I go for a walk. And I tend to walk at night when I'm not going to run into a lot of people because that's not pleasant for me. I don't like it. And I also always burn a candle or 3 sticks of incense. 1 stick is for my mind, 1 stick is for my body, and 1 stick is for my soul. And I do it with gratitude. Another ritual that anchors me is gratitude practice. I'm doing 1 a day now, but my intention is to move that up to 2 a day. It clears your energy. And then you start to look at yourself and say, what the hell are you bitching about? Like you got all this stuff. Your flowers are blooming, your cat is happy, you have good friends, you have radiant health. Really? Are you going to whinge and cringe about the world and, someplace there's green lava spewing out of a volcano? I mean, because if you really want to find things to upset you, you can find them. Next thing I want to talk about, figure out what you want from life and put a habit in place to help you achieve that. Once you have a few habits in place, you can go on to stacking habits. Stacking habits means after I finish my Wim Hof breath, I shoot my YouTube video so that I'm hardwired to do the Wim Hof breath, but not hardwired to do the YouTube video. But what I'm doing is I am, the dessert plate where you get the oysters and then you think, oh, I'll have some olives too. It's the same plate. So I really want to talk to you about figure out who you are. Figure out what makes you happy. Pay attention to your vibration. Check it out. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, where's my vibe right now? Am I like down here? I'm up here. I'm in the gamma ray brain waves. Or because if we're not reading our instruments, we really don't know what's going on inside this thing we call self. And I want to say to you, I encourage you to hardwire positive habits into your life. Take care of yourself. Respect yourself. And if you make a promise to yourself, make sure you're going to follow through. It's not just, I have 15 promises out right now. That's ADHD. That's like, I have no idea what I'm thinking or focusing on. I'm focusing on everything and I'm going to become perfect. And then I'll just disappear in a puff of smoke and I'll go up and something magical will happen. No, it's not like that. It's baby steps. It's climbing a rock wall. It's going up the mountain, step after step. Sure, it's tough, but you can do it. I want to express gratitude for the people that are following my videos. Thank you. And I want to also offer anyone who would like a channeled psychic reading for growing the self, for becoming more radiantly who you are. We can make a plan for that. And as always, I like to remind you, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching.